Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Marvel's Champions card game hero pack for War Machine. So we got a brand new Avenger that we get to play as. Should work great with Iron Man. Well, I mean, work great with Iron Man, you know, except for the added ally part. Yeah, I love this game. Continues adding more and more unique characters. So of course, we're gonna get our poster. The box art. Just some references. Of course, they had a little spot. He's a leadership character, which I find really interesting for War Machine. Not to say he can't be a leader. You just would have thought, like, compared to, like, Iron Man or something like that, he would have been, like, an aggression or maybe a protection character more than a leadership, just because I don't know how many times he's been the leader of a team. I guess other than maybe ForceWorks. If they would add ForceWorks in here, I would have understood more, but they didn't. But that's fine. I love more characters. More allies are always fun. And plus the ones that added do make sense. And we'll get to those. So we have a couple of different keywords in here. Some we've seen before, like Hindrance X. When a card with Hindrance X keyword is revealed, place X threat on that card. Piercing. Ignores the tough status. Range doesn't affect retaliate, which is becoming more and more prevalent. We have another team up keyword, which is really awesome. We'll explain a little bit more when I get into it. If you haven't, the brand new keyword though, which I don't think we've seen yet before, or if we have, it's only been one or two other videos, depending on which order you're watching this, is Alliance. It's a new one. So it appears in some player cards in this pack. When a player declares their intention to play an Alliance card, any player may help pay the cost of that card. So it's actually really cool, because it's like that way, like the team up, it gives you more interaction between the other players you're playing with, because you're reliant upon them or stuff they're doing as well. Alright, so let's look at our character first. So here we have the hero War Machine, who is an Avenger and a Soldier. 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Seems pretty solid. So as you're locked and loaded, a response. After you change to this form, place 5 ammo counters on War Machine. It is 10 hit points and a hand size of 5. So War Machine's big, like, gimmick or like thing is he has ammo counters. You get counters that you put on them, and then you spend them to gain effects. So when you change the War Machine, you load up 5 ammo counters. But then, when you switch back over to James Rhodes, his alter ego, who's a shield soldier who has 3 recovery, choose a War Machine card in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. So that's really great. You can use one, and basically you can reload your weapons, your guns, to get your weapons back. So you may as well spend them, because every time you flip over, you can get them back. So there's no point, I gotta hold on to that big card till later on in the game till I really need it. No, just drop it and then get it back. It goes back in your deck. You don't get it right away, but if your deck is getting small, you might get it right away in the next turn, depending on how many you draw. But there's a forced response. It says, after you change this form, discard each ammo counter from your identity. So when you flip over to War Machine, you get your 5 ammo. Try and spend as much of it as you can before you flip them back over, because you're gonna lose it. Although every time you flip back over it, you're gonna get that 5 ammo back. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to flip them over, use 1 ammo, and then flip them back if you don't have to. So now we'll see what all this ammo does and what cards we're willing to get back. So I just do want to point out though, this says choose a War Machine card. So it's any War Machine card from the War Machine part of the deck, not a tech, not an upgrade, not an attachment, or a support. It's anyone. So I could put Iron Man back in my deck even. So here we're gonna get Tony's best friend, the best friend, Tony Stark, Iron Man. It says 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 health. It says after Iron Man enters play, search your deck and discard pile for tech upgrade and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So that can definitely be useful too. Again, use your cards with ammo. They're in your discard pile. So either then you can use Iron Man, you can either search for it and get it that way, or if it happens to still be in your deck, you can pull it out, use it, then use War Machine to get it back in your deck right away. So all but just reutilizing your cards. So we have a munitions bunker, a special location with location and shield. So alter ego action, exhausting munitions bunker, place 2 ammo counters here. So as roadie, you can put ammo counters on here while you're recovering. You can be building up your ammo. And as your hero action, you can exhaust the munitions bunker to move each ammo counter from here to War Machine. So it's actually a really good play because War Machine will get 5, use them up, use whatever you can, flip them over to roadie to heal. And then while you're healing, you can be, if you're taking like a turn or 2, even if you're only taking 1 turn to heal, spend that 1 turn. Now you put 2 ammo counters on here. Then you flip them back over to War Machine. You have 5. You can exhaust this to get up to 7, which will get you more ammo. But if you need to take maybe 2 turns to heal, now you can have 4. So now you have 9 ammo to spend. So you can stay in the fight longer as War Machine using the ammo tokens. So it's actually a really neat one. But, like, and what's also neat, I guess it's kind of neat, it's the War Machine. It's not unique. So this is a card that could potentially, they could have something else that could work with it. I mean, you're never going to get a second copy just because it's a War Machine only deck. But they could make more stuff with ammo that might work. So maybe an ammo thing will show up later in a different set. Here we have upgrade. We have an upgraded chassis, armor tech. War Machine gains the aerial trait. Hero response. After you change to hero form, exhaust upgrade chassis to give War Machine a tough status card. So War Machine is going to get a lot of bonuses from becoming War Machine. You throw on that armor, gains his ammo. You have this card out. You can also exhaust this to give him tough status and aerial, so he doesn't get hurt as much. And we're going to have 2 copies of our Gauntlet gun. Not Gatling, Gauntlet gun. It's on his wrist. So it's a weapon tech resource. Exhaust Gauntlet gun to generate 1 wild resource for War Machine event. And then place 1 ammo counter on War Machine. So just a good way to also generate more ammo. So you can get more ammo with this. Plus you're also going to get 1 wild resource to spend. So it's definitely great. Another upgrade, we have our missile launcher, tech weapon, hero action, attack, exhaust missile launcher, and remove 1 ammo counter from War Machine. This does 2 damage to an enemy. This attack gains range. So here's now where we can start spending this, all this ammo. And now, if you only have 5, if you're not counting these other things that give you additional ammo, I mean, you only have 5 cards in your hand, so you're only going to have so many that these are going to work with without having a way to, like, redraw and recycle cards. So I don't think you're ever going to have to, you're not generally going to have to worry about playing cards like, oh, I don't have enough ammo, unless you've already played several other cards. But yeah, just dealing straight up 2 damage is kind of nice. It's cheaper because it costs him that ammo. So if that would have been just a regular do 2 damage, it probably would have cost like 2 or 3. Especially because you have to discard other cards to do it. But being like their upgrades is you can put them on him, and then now you can use that every turn. You don't have to keep playing more cards every turn. So you might have to spend 2 or 3 turns playing these upgrades, like play shoulder cannon. You can exhaust it, deal 1 damage to an enemy, and you may remove 1 counter to ready this. So this one's actually kind of nice, because you can spend 1 ammo. So if you have this out and you flip over War Machine, you can actually do 5 damage. You just exhaust it, deal 1 damage, remove a counter, good. Exhaust it, move it. So, yeah, it's going to take a few turns to prep him. He needs to, like, load up all his different guns and stuff, but once they're loaded up, he can consistently do damage every turn for essentially free because there's 5 ammo to spend. And Or you get 2 copies of the Repulsor Beam, which is a 1-cost event. It says remove 1 ammo from counter from War Machine, deal 4 damage to an enemy. So yeah, 4 damage for 1 cost essentially. That's not bad. And then if you use it with that Gauntlet, you charge it up, you exhaust it, you got 1 resource to spend on this, plus gaining extra ammo. So basically, that Gauntlet pays for this, which is crazy. We have 2 copies of Targeted Strike. She's a thwart, remove 1 ammo counter from War Machine, remove 3 threats from a Steam. Same thing here. You can use that Gauntlet to do Targeted Strike, and it pays for it. Plus you get 3 threat removed, which is pretty cool. We have Scorched, 2 copies of Scorched Earth. Which is a tactic. Remove 3 ammo counters from War Machine, deal 3 damage to each enemy in play. That is crazy. So you're only going to generally be able to only use it once, unless you have something, it's an event, so you have to pay for it anyhow. But yeah, that's crazy. And then finally, his last one, which is the best one, Full Auto. Remove 4 ammo counters from War Machine and choose an enemy. Deal 8 damage to that enemy as attack gains overkill. So the other one spreads it out and does more damage to everybody, but this one will just annihilate one guy. You can probably take out most minions with this, and if you take out a minion, it's going to overkill to the boss, to the main villain. So that's definitely cool. So yeah, here's a really neat mechanic with upgrade your guy, get stuff out, tech out so you can power up and have it sitting there ready to go. And if it gets discarded, that's you can flip them over, you can find one, put it back in there. If like something discards your shoulder cannon, whatever, you can go ahead and look for it. We're gonna look at his we'll go right through his deck. We'll look at his deck. Alright, so now we're have some leadership cards. So, I'll admit Black Panther, T'Challa, happy to see them. I like that they started making allies for the base game characters, so that way you can play them characters with the anybody else. Not 1,000% sure why he's in with Black Panther. I'm sure they're on the Avengers teams together at some point, other than him just being another black hero. Which I'm hoping that's not their only case, but it could be. But either way, still happy to have him. So he's Avengers Wakanda. He has Sport 2 and Attack 2, but he has 2 consequential damage on each with 4 hit points. So he's not going to survive more than 2 of those attacks. But it says you may play the event attached to Black Panther as if it were in your hand. Response: after Black Panther enters play, choose a leadership, blue event, and discard pile and attach it to him face down. I'm not really sure why it has to be face down, like why someone else couldn't know what event you have, because you're not playing against somebody. But still, it's kind of cool. Also, another main character we're going to get is Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. This makes more sense because the two are dating in the comic books. 2 thwart, 3 attack. An aerial Avenger. Response: after Captain Marvel enters play, discard the top 4 cards of your deck. If you discard a printed energy resource, deal 3 damage to an enemy. If you discarded more than 1 printed resource, also stun that enemy. So it's also cool about both of these characters. Is, and I like when they make these guys as regular allies, is they have abilities that they're not going to stay up there like that. They have abilities that at least somewhat mimic their the way their play decks work. So, like Captain Marvel, for example, has stuff that if you play stuff with energy resources, she does extra damage. And Black Panther was all about getting out his special event cards, his special cards. So it kind of works the same way. Alright, then we also have Falcon. So we have War Machine and Falcon, which is really cool. Nice little team up. Sam Wilson, so he has 2 and 2. Falcon enters play with your top 3 cards of the encounter deck. For each treachery looked at this way, remove 1 threat from the Steam. Just a quick way to get rid of some of those. Our fourth ally is we have Goliath, Bill Foster. 2 thwart, 1 attack, which 1 attack seems really low, but that's because he's action. Goliath gets +4 attack till the end of the phase. At the end of the phase, discard Goliath. Max 1 per phase. So you can basically pump him up to 5 to do 1 massive attack when he grows large, which is really cool. So there's our 4 brand new allies. We're going to get 3 copies of the Support Command Team, which is a shield card. Uses 3 command counters. Action, exhaust command team and remove 1 commander counter, ready an ally. So definitely that's awesome. You get attack with allies more often. You can't argue with that. We have 3 copies of the new Sneak Attack. Tactic, choose an ally in your hand that shares a trait with your identity. Put that ally into play. If that ally is still in play at the end of the phase, discard it. So yeah, a free ally comes in, pops in, does 1 damage. Uses like Bill Foster, pops in, does 5 damage. He's gonna go away anyhow. And then shares a trait, so we can share Avengers, Soldier, or Shield. So we have 3 different keywords with him. We have 3 copies of Save the Day. Brand new tactic. Discard an ally you control. Remove threat from the Steam equal to that ally's printed cost. So basically, they're going to die in like a turn or 2 rather than sacrificing for damage or sacrificing an attack. You could do this to remove a bunch of extra threat. And since most of these guys, just with their allies here, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So they'll have 2 thwarts. So you can either thwart for 2, or you could use this to discard them, and it's going to be 4, 4, 4, or 5. So you're paying higher for those guys, but you're going to be able to get rid of them. And I also think the other reason why they have higher cost allies in here, because War Machine's all about focus. Once he gets his other cards into play, his supports, or his upgrades, he doesn't need to keep spending as much every turn playing cards from his hand. And then we have 1 more brand new card. We have 3 copies of Going Down Swinging, 0 cost event. Hero action, discard an ally you control, deal damage equal to that printed cost. So you get 1 for steaming, 1 for damage. So definitely cool there. Some repeat cards we've had before, so we'll get 2 copies of Make the Call. Printed cost of an ally in any player's discard pile. Put that ally into play under your control. It's just stealing somebody else's ally. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We have 1 copy of the new resource, Innovation. Just I think the second time it's been played, I think it was in the Adam Warlock deck. If you bought the big Mad Titan campaign. Otherwise, they're slowly putting a copy of each of these into the hero deck. So if you didn't buy the big set and you keep buying just the small hero pack, you'll eventually get one of each of these. So after you spend this card, heal 1 damage for an ally you control. So all of the leadership cards, all of these are really focused on allies. So we're going to get some interesting basic cards. We're going to get another Mockingbird, which I find really interesting, only because of the fact that we need more shield allies, which is great. Ability is good, stuns an enemy. It's just sort of weird because we already got 4 copies in the base set, and I think there was like 1 more in one of the other early hero decks. And you have to have the base set to play the game. So I don't really need another Mockingbird. I would have preferred anybody else, I guess, just other than the same cards that we have 4 copies of in the base set. But that's alright. Same thing, we kind of got another Queen Carrier, you know, sort of the same idea. Play only if your Dengi has the Avengers trait. Exhaust Queen Carrier to generate a wild resource. But again, you get this out, that definitely helps playing your cards quicker. Then we have our, well, before I look at that, we have our Energy, our Genius, and our Strength. The 3 that we always have, generally. So we have our new Team Up card. 2 Against the World. Team Up. War Machine and Iron Man 1 per deck. Hero action, search your deck for a tech upgrade, put it into play, shuffle your deck, ready Iron Man and War Machine. So the way these always come in the decks is they show up like when you buy the hero deck. All the hero cards are together, then it's your obligations, then it's your extra cards, and they always put the second copy at the end, so it's not mixed in with the pre-made deck ready to go. But you do get 2 copies of this, so you can put one in your Iron Man deck, one in your War Machine deck. So we do have 2 copies. And just to re-explain how these work, to play a team-up card, you have to have, you can only have in a deck with one of the 2 printed, you have to be playing one of the 2 printed characters. So you have to be playing Iron Man or War Machine to even play this. And then to even have it in your deck as your main character. And then to play it, you have to have both copies of them out. So it's either I can have my War Machine with my ally Iron Man, or I can, or my, one of my teammates can be Iron Man. So it's either way as long as you have both of them out. Or someone else could be playing Iron Man as an ally. They could have, Wasp as their main hero, and they could have Iron Man as an ally, and you can play it that way. And there is an Iron Man ally in, I forgot whose deck it was. It's one of the earlier decks, one of the first leadership decks. It's not part of the deck, it was part of the 3 bonus cards. So there's an Iron Man ally card you can get for leadership. You can add somewhere else. Otherwise, let's say War Machine has his own side one. But yeah, that's definitely cool. So search your deck for a tech upgrade, put it into play, shuffle your deck, ready both Iron Man and War Machine. It's definitely a powerful card. You get your tech upgrade, which works for either character, so whoever gets to play it needs it. But you also need to ready both characters so they can do some extra attacks. Alright, let's look at our last couple of cards here. We have our Obligation. Equipment Malfunction. Give to the James Road player. You may flip Alter Ego form. Exhaust. Exhaust James Road, remove Equipment Malfunction from the game. So it's the same thing. Flip to your Alter Ego. Basically lose a turn to get rid of this forever. Or just remove all ammo counters from your identity. If 2 or fewer ammo counters were removed this way, this card gains surge. Discard this. So if you don't want to lose a turn, you can sacrifice some other stuff or potentially get another card. But then you might have to deal with this a second time later on. So it's sort of, it's up to you. Our Nemesis is we're going to have the Living Laser. 1 steam, 2 attack with a star. So it's Quick Strike. And Living Lasers attack gain piercing. So that kind of sucks. Makes sense though. Our side steam is the Deadly Light Show. Living Lasers attack of the government office. Help, the employees inside need help. Hindrance 1 per player, so you add an extra token 1 per player. And then, when defeated, deal 1 damage to each identity. And that's a crisis. So you have to stop, deal with this first. And it's going to be at least 4 at the bare minimum if you're playing a 1 player. Probably 5 if 2 player. And they're going to take 1 damage no matter what. But you have to deal with it. So, then he's got 3 copies of Laser Strike. Which says, Treachery. When revealed, discard an upgrade card you control. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. Boost. If this resolves during an undefended attack, discard an upgrade you control. So you're going to get rid of your upgrades. And then we have our Stop pre-built deck. There's our deck list. Just in case you need to just see everything that was in this set. And then we have our last 4 brand new cards for the other sets. So we, like always, we have 3 copies. Like most of the time, I say. Rarely ever do we have not 3 copies. But we have As One. So this is for our aggression deck. It has the brand new Alliance keyword, which again is any other player can help pay for it. So it only costs 2, but I can have someone else give me points to help pay for it. So it says exhaust an Avenger character and a Guardian character. And this is another part of the payment. So if I'm playing the Avenger and someone else is playing a Guardian, they can exhaust their Guardian character. Deal X damage to an enemy where X is the combined attack of those characters. This attack gains overkill. So that's really helpful. If you have someone else that has a really high attack character from one of the other groups, you can have them help out. That way you don't have to try and play both an Avenger and Guardian cards in the same deck, which could really throw off the thing, because lots of things play off having the players on the same team. But it works out, gives you a better reason for one player to play one character and one to play another. We're going to look at the other one quick. We have 3 copies of Stand Together, which is our other alliance card. This one costs 4 now, so that's definitely could be, more help paying for that. With Valkyrie and Black Knight, who we haven't seen Black Knight yet. We have Valkyrie coming up in the next hero deck coming out, but we haven't seen Black Knight as a hero yet. When a friendly character would take any amount of damage from an attack, exhausting an Avenger character and a Guardian character. Prevent all of that damage, deal that much damage to attacking enemy. So the other one lets you combine all your attacks and do damage. This one lets you prevent it. Now, they don't have alliance cards for the other 2, but I believe Valkyrie, which is again the next hero pack, will have at least 1 of them, so by the time you buy that, you'll have more than them. But we have 3 copies of Vigilance Training, which I love this, because I love seeing the cards as new characters. So we have Black Panther, we can already play as, but Daredevil, Punisher, and Elektra. Kind of gives me hope that they're going to start adding the Marvel Knight characters, and we've seen a ton of other stuff with these characters, so maybe they'll start eventually adding them. Max 2 per deck, so this is when we're only going to get 2 copies instead of 3, because it's a max 2 per deck, so they're never going to give you more than what you can actually use. Uses 2 training counters. Alter Ego action. Exhaust this card and remove 1 training counter from it. Choose a Justice Yellow event in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. So that's kind of cool. Just two times you get it added back in. Then we have 3 copies of our basic, which is just a sidearm. It's a weapon, attached to an ally, max 1 per ally, gets 1 attack and gains range. Nothing super special, but, having 1 extra range is, having ranged is nice. You're playing against guys with Retaliate. But also 1 extra attack, so I could give him 2 to 6, 3, 4, definitely not a bad thing to have for some of them guys, especially in the ally deck. Plus, put it anywhere. I only wish it had tech on it. Would have made it a little bit more versatile. But it's what it is. So there we have it. We have our War Machine deck. Couple of brand new allies. Couple of interesting new cards, new keywords. The ammo counter thing is really neat. I think there are other cards that use ammo counters, but since all the ammo stuff in here is, I think pretty much all the ammo stuff is either puts ammo on this card, or this one puts it on War Machine. They don't really mesh together that way, but you could definitely use them for tech, and stuff like that. So, hopefully they add some more synergy with other characters with ammo, especially like I said with the Marvel Knights and Punisher coming up. I mean, I shouldn't say he's coming up. I'm hoping they release him. The next group of characters, we have our Avengers, we have our Guardians. Our next ones coming out are Web Warriors for Spider-Man. Then hopefully they'll start releasing some Marvel Knight characters, or some X-Men / Fantastic Four. If they do Fantastic Four, though, I think they need to just do like a new core set. I have all 4 characters in the core set rather than trying to release them in individual packs. That'd be the best way to do it. So, alright, that's War Machine for you guys. See you guys in the next video. Bye.